Hello, it's me, and now it's time to tackle the multi-skewb dodecahedron. So among the pentultimate puzzles and the multi-dodecahedrons, this I have to say is probably the most difficult. It's the most difficult because it's bandaged. And because it's bandaged, you have to use all of the moves that we're used to moving, but you've got to vary it a little bit. You have to do a lot of deconstruction and reconstruction, and it's so easy to get lost with that. So the fact is, this puzzle is available, and anybody can buy it. So it's out there. And as it's out there, we should probably go through how to solve it. So I would say that it's even harder than this. This one takes a little more time just because of solving these guys, but it's not bandaged. You know, every one of these turns, when I turn from the top, it slices through the middle here, so allows me to do the pyraminx crystal moves in the way that I would recognize it. Well, here you can see that some, when you turn the top, the middles are moved right with it, whereas others, when you turn the top, the middles are sliced. So you don't get that in this puzzle at all. Every turn slices the middles right below the top. This one doesn't. And the reason for that is because, as was showed previously in this puzzle, that when you look inside it, this is really what you're looking at, the pyraminx crystal inside. However, because this is a two-layer puzzle, not a three-layer puzzle, because it's a two-layer puzzle, one of the sides have to be bandaged. So this turn is equivalent to this turn, where you're not getting the middles turning with it. Yeesh. However, if you do it, let me get this back here. However, if you do it, let me see if I can find one that works. If you, there we go. If you do this turn, then this top does carry this with it. Now this, you can see where the bandaging is. And as long as you're away from the bandaging, you can actually move the middle layers as opposed to have it have the whole thing bandaged. Okay, so the key with this is, where is the bandage? Well, it's not obviously in this layer, it's somewhere down in this layer over here. And it turns out, in this particular puzzle, it might be different for yours, the one that's bandaged is the one that is the purple, light blue, and orange. This corner is bandaged. So any turn that moves that corner is going to hold these middle layers fixed if that's on the top. So over here, that's going to hold it fixed. Over here, so green on top, it's going to hold it fixed. Purple on top, it's going to hold it fixed. Orange on top will hold it fixed. If I have the silver on top, because this is taken with it, it'll hold it fixed. But anything that does not move this will not hold the middle layer fixed. So, you know, if I go over here, say, it doesn't hold it fixed. So as long as I bear that in mind, that's how this works. And that's why this is so much more difficult. So let's bear that in mind. This is the bandaged side. So we know that any movement that I do with that is going to not allow this to move, not allow the middles to move. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and scramble it and talk about the best way of solving this. And to those who don't have this puzzle and would just like to see a tortuous experience of trying to solve this, well, I guess you'll see that too. Okay, turn this here, here, here. Now, something you might be noticing as I'm scrambling this is there are certain pieces that just don't scramble. And those pieces have to do with those parts that are pretty much bandaged. Like right now, I'm trying to separate these oranges out, and some of them do, some of them don't. So these will never scramble. This whole set here, this whole set here will also never scramble. So I'm just going to keep scrambling this, and then we'll see what we got. Okay, so there it is, pretty scrambled. You can see the scramble's good. Most of these center pieces don't really correlate much with each other. The only ones that I can't scramble away from each other are these corner pieces. These are bandaged together. So this center purple, blue, and orange is going to be the same as the outside here. So in some ways that might benefit us, but trust me, in the long run, it doesn't. Okay, so how to solve this? Well, what you first have to recognize is that internally, this is a pyraminx crystal. It's not just a pyraminx crystal, it's a pyraminx crystal with a center. So we have to understand the solve of this. Now, what I could do is I could scramble the pyraminx crystal and just sort of show you exactly what I'm doing. And if you have this puzzle and are frustrated, that might be helpful. It might be helpful to follow along with the pyraminx crystal. So just for the sake of it, why don't I scramble this one also? This one is non-bandaged. I'm not going to do a full kind of a scramble, but just enough so that you can sort of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's correlate what we see in here with what we see in here. These wedges that go from top to the bottom, that's this over here. So these two colors here, this is the same piece. Like this pink and green, that's this piece over here, just a different color. These pieces here, these are corner pieces. They're lined up with a corner, red, white, and blue. So this is one corner piece over here, and that's like these pieces here, 3 colors. So we can just bear that in mind. These are the corner pieces, and these are the little wedges. So that's how we're going to start the solve. And to start the solve, we think of a bottom layer, and we just do a Kilominx solve. The Kilominx solve is just these corners. These corners are a Kilominx. And I have to imagine that you have experience on how to solve that. So for instance, here's the green. Green and red, we find the other green and red, or green and beige, so we can move this in. And I'm just going to turn this around until this gets us what we want in the direction that we want it. Eventually we'll get there, and boom. Okay, so this is in. Here's a green and red. So this green and red will end up here. And finally a green and white. Here's a green and white over here. So what you can do is just roll these in up to here. Whoop, wrong direction. Green and white, and the final green with whatever color is left over. That's going to be here. So basically move it down, doing an RIDI-RD. So it's easy to visualize, easy to do, so we have this over here. The next step that I do with the Kilominx is I turn it upside down and I put in these pieces. This one is already in. This one is going to be the red and white. So just bear in mind that red and white, you can get it from these places here, you can get it up here. Here's a red and white here, so I'm going to move this up to the top. And that's going to work its way down to here. That's rotated wrong, so just going to see how I'm rotating this. Just keep turning it around until it's where it needs to be. There it is. Okay. Oh, sorry, had to go to here. Now, if I'm having a hard time getting it in, I can just rotate it this way. Okay, so that's in, and I'm just filling in the layers over here. So this is a red and beige. And you can see it's easy for me to do because it's easy for me to visualize. But what if that benefit was taken away? What if, okay, I'm going to move this into here, just in case that's in. Oh, lost it. There it is. Okay, there's the beige, and then finally the blue and purple, which is already here. I just have to turn that upside down. Boom. All right, so you can see these are all filled in, and it's easy for me to visualize because it's easy for me to see. This is just a typical Kilominx solve. Okay, these are even easier because I just get them from the top. But let's get started with this. Now, what I would do first is I would do the side where all your bandaging is. You'll be able to easily see it. This is where the bandaging is. And we can define a bottom part, and this will be the bottom right over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in the bottom purple. Now, notice that when I did the bottom here, I didn't fill in these guys. But it might not be a bad idea. Is the sticker coming loose? I'll have to watch that. Okay, might not be a bad idea because it might be easy to identify. And to place the stickers, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a down, down, up, up. So this belongs over here. So let's see if we can, well actually this belongs over here. If I keep doing down, down, up, up, and keep bringing it from here to here to here, it'll get there. So up, up, down, down. I'm now going to shimmy it to here, up, up, down, down. Oop. Made a mistake there. Okay, now I can shimmy it to here by going up, up, down, down. Okay, that's pretty good. This is upside down, so let's take this out. It's really just a down, down, up, up, and make it work as in any way that you can. In other words, just do it intuitively with the down, down, up, up. I can bring this to here without rotating this by moving this up, bringing this in, bringing this down, bringing this down. If I keep doing that, I'll eventually roll it to here in the right direction. I don't want to make this participate. Let me just bump this out of the way. Go, well, up, up, down, down. We can now bring this back. And now we can comfortably move it into here by going up, up, down, down. So that's all in. Other green ones. Here's a green and, well, green and blue. So I can start moving that close to where I want it. And it's a really easy solve when everything, all moves are available to me. So this will come down to here, down, down, up, up, and green and white. Let's get this closer to where we want it. Okay, this needs to go over to here. So I'm going to move this down to here and go down, down, up, up. Turn this around. So we just have one more, and we can easily find the green one here. Let's move it closer to our goal. Okay, I can move this down here and move it in. So I'm going to be three cycling these over here, down, down, up, up, and boom. Okay, so I got that in, and I can even start moving these in. It might not be a bad idea in this case, but well, let's actually get to the solve. I'm not going to worry about the centers, because a lot of these that I put in, a lot of these pyraminx crystal parts, the wedge parts, are going to be taken out as I do it, but as long as I have some in, it could be helpful. Okay, so this will be at the bottom. Let's do our Kilominx solve. This is already in, this is already in. So let's find another purple corner piece. Here's a purple corner piece here. This is purple, white, and green. Let's see where that is. So this is green, which means it must be here, and here's the white center. So that doesn't change. That's like glued down to the top. So I'm going to move this, and I'm just going to see if I can't intuitively put it where it needs to be, and this needs to go over to here. So I could just move it down, well, so I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I can move it in this direction, so I'm going to move it into this layer. And from this layer, if I'm going to move it in, I got to move this up to here. So let's bring this up, move this into this position here, then bring it back down. Oops, 1, 2, and I'll move it in. Okay, so this is where it needs to be. This is where it needs to be here. Now I'm going to move the other one in, so let's find the other purple right over here. So we just have to figure a way to get it in a way that it can move. So this guy needs to come over to here. Well, how am I going to get him in there? Well, I got to get it into this spot. So what if I move this up here? Move it into here. Where'd you go? You're right here. If I move it down, okay, I still don't have it in this spot here. So I'm going to move you to here, move you down to here. So now this is in the right spot. It's just rotated wrong. So as you can see, if I move this into here, this is rotated wrong. So let's move it up, bring it to the side, move it down, bring it back, up, to the side, bring it down. Okay. So this is the first part of the Kilominx solve. In order to have things make a little more sense, why don't we move some of these wedges in? So here's purple and green. So that needs to go to here. Purple and green needs to go to here. So what I would do is these two are going to participate into this algorithm here. This can move fine. This can't. So let's move this out of the way here. Move it to here. and then we're going to move this down to here. Okay, so here's our purple and green. This will slide into here, and it can do that, but this, it can't do it from this angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, because I got to turn it upside down here, so this can slide into here, as you can see. Boom, can slide into here. But to slide into there, it also has to move from this angle. So it's going to slide into here and this will participate, but this is bandaged. So what we're going to do is let's take this part that's not bandaged and move it away from here. And then find an area that's not bandaged. So this isn't bandaged over here, as you can see. So I'm going to use this as the other piece instead. So we're going to go 1, 2 to bring it in. Move it out. That's our down, down, down. Then up, up, and then up. So now you can see this is where it needs to be, and I just move it back, and boom. So that's how we get that in there. Now notice I had to move it away from the bandaged area, and we're going to be doing that all along this puzzle. Now I can go ahead and continue with the Kilominx solve, but you really have to adjust your eyes. It's really hard to sort of skip over these and go to these pieces over here, which is why it might behoove us. Now, as I'm solving it later on, some of these will be taken out. So you might not want to spend your time at that, but if you could see, then maybe it's okay to just keep going without getting these other wedges in. So let's try it that way. Once you get this done, we're going to start working on, once we're done with these corners, we're going to start working on these corners here, in other words, these corners. Some of them are already going to be in. For instance, this is already going to be in because it was bandaged. So that's okay. So next we're going to work on this corner. This corner is going to be the yellow, or rather the orange, yellow, and green. So let's see if we can find that. Orange, yellow, and green. Got to search around for it. Orange, yellow, right over here. So it's right over here. So let's see what we need to do to make this work. First I'm going to get it closer to where I need it so I can keep track of it. Orange, green, already lost track of it. I think it was here. Yeah, orange, yellow, and green. It's right here. Okay. So let's move this up, and then I can move it here. Okay, you want to go down over to here. So why don't I just move this here and see where I can move this without it being bandaged, and it's right here. Okay? So I need it to be where this white is. So I need it to be here. So I need that orange to be right here. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm just rotating it in the right direction here. Okay, this is it, but I gotta get it to over here. So let's move it up. Move it up here. Let's rotate it and then bring it back down. Boom. Okay, so there it is. So it was really just a matter of positioning. All right, let's keep going around. This is orange, white, and blue. Yellow, white, and blue, rather. Yellow, white, and blue. Aha, it happens to be right here. So all I need to do with this is move it down like so. Okay, so this is in. So far we're doing okay. Next is white, green, and red. Okay, here's white, green, and red here. I just got to get this white one down to here. So I'm going to move it like so. Okay, and the white one is going to come in from here. Okay, so I'm going to move this here, pop this into that position, and move it into here. Okay, so this is in. So again, we're skipping these guys, if you can visualize it. We're just doing these corner pieces here. So this is in, this is in. Now I'm looking for this case here, green, light blue, and beige. So green, light blue and beige. Let me see if I can find it. Green, aha, light blue and beige, so that's right here. So let's get this away from this orange area that we already have in. And now we need it to come down to here. Oops, so you can see this is bandaged here, so you got to be careful with that. So if I move this up, and then can I... Okay, I need it to be where this white one is. So that means when I move this up like so, okay. So for me it's a question of perspective. This is a perspective bender. But I think of, no, see, I can't do it that way. I can do it from here. Okay, what can I do to move something into this area here? Okay, it looks like I can move it in from here. So I'm going to go up to here. I'm going to go up like so. And again, I got to move it into where this white one is. I just have to find a way to move this white one. I could go like this. I got to be careful because I don't want to move out things that I've already moved in, which is this. Okay, I've got this here. I can move this into here. Now I can move it up one more, put this green where this white one is here, and now I can move it down twice. Okay, and that did it. In, and in. So as you can see, I've got this layer of my Kilominx done. Now, I hope you followed that, but basically what I was doing is I was finding what moves I can do and how to move it in. They're all variations of, you know, RI, DI, RD, that kind of stuff to move it in. Just find what two faces you can move that it won't be bandaged. And you can see it is a little hard to visualize, but these are all in, these are all in, these are in. Okay, the next step is to finish up these middle layers by putting these guys in over here. Let's start off with the ones that are closest to the purple ones. This orange is already in, I think. So you can see light green, silver, and orange. That's already in, so that's done. So now we have yellow, light green, and blue. So let's find yellow, light green, and blue. It's not here. Okay, here's yellow, light green, and blue, so it's right here. Right here, okay. So this is actually where this is. So let's find this one, and it'll bump this one out. So I'm looking for the light blue, gray, and beige, I guess. Which I guess is this, light blue. Okay, so let's bring this up. Move it out of the way, bring it down. Okay, so that's over here. And that's going to come into this area here. So this is moving on the top here. And what do I need to do to get it into this place here? Well, first off, I can't move it like this, but I can move it like this. So I'm going to turn it like this, turn it like that, to move it in, and then bring it down. So you can see this is now in. So the one that I was looking for, the yellow, should be up here. Yellow, green, and blue is here. Okay, so this is on the top layer. And just kind of visualize here, this needs to come down to here. Now which one of these can I move without bandaging? It could be this way, or it could be this way, so I'm kind of lucky with that. So this is going to be RIDI-RD to get this down to here basically. So just going to move it up, turn it in. Is it in? Turn it down, and you can see it's in, but it's rotated wrong, so move it back up, bump it out of the way, move this back down, move this here, and do our equivalent of RI, although it's slightly different with DI, RD. So now this is in, okay? So this was that easy step over here. Oh, well, actually, what this step is I'm putting these guys in. So it's fairly simple when you can visualize it. For instance, here's this. This is in the right place, but it's rotated wrong. You just move it to the top, move it out of the way, bring it down. This is the same motion. Whoop, it's not in yet. So if you can understand what I'm saying, this is really what I'm doing. So this needs to end up down here. So I'm just going to bring it up, move it in. It's not in yet. Keep going with it, bring it down. Just rolling it in the way I would roll any corner in. So same thing with this. This needs to roll into here. So up, turn it in, move it down. And finally the red one. Nope, the white one should be up here. It is. Move this down. And now this red one to go to here. Move it up. So that's all I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. With my purple one on the bottom, I'm placing these. So here I got the yellow one here. I'm going to get the white one. Well, the white one hopefully is on the top here somewhere. And is it here? White, red, and blue. So this is white, red, and blue, so yes. So I'm going to bring this over here to the top. And I'm just going to roll it into here. Now, I have to be careful. I can roll it in this way. So I'm going to move this up. Move it in, see if it's in. It's not rotated correctly, so keep going and down. Bring it back here so you can see it's the same movement. If you can get that, then this is not so bad. Roll it in and move it down. Okay, so this is in. Now I need to do the green one. Find the green one up here. Here's a green one up here. It's the only one that's left. It's the same thing. So this is going to have to go down to here. So like this corner needs to go to here. So up, turn. You can see the green one is not lined up where it should be. So move it one over. Bring it back to here. Roll this up. Roll it in. Bring it down. So now that's in. How about this, 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 and this? So all these are done. So this is 1/2 of the pyraminx, of the Kilominx is done. Now I got to do the top part. So the top part is all up here. You're going to notice that all of these corners are in. Now we have to navigate our way around the top. The top is going to be basically as you would do any Megaminx / Kilominx. We have just find the ones that belong in the proper place. So this is rotated correctly. It might be easier to visualize this. This belongs here, obviously. So what belongs right next to it? Well, this does. So this is correct. It's just rotated wrong. Is this where it needs to be? It is. This is not. Actually, this is correct. This is not correct. But this is, I think. Yeah. So with that said, find the two that are correct. Hold it to the right and back, and do the algorithm to U. R to U Li to U Ri to Ui L. And I'm waiting until the rest are in. This is not in yet. All I have to do is see if one is in, because there's no parity with this, parity problems. Okay, this is correct. This is also correct. This is correct, it's just rotated wrong. Once it's rotated wrong, just hold the ones that are rotated wrong, do your RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD, and I'm doing all of that until the green one is up. Once it's up, I move the next one in position, RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD, that's up. Next one in position. So again, this is a pretty simple solve as long as you can visualize it. But what you're going to find is by the end of it, DIRD, is these are now all rotated up. We put them in, and that's our Kilominx solve. That's what I'm endeavoring to do with this. So now we're at the top layer. So let's find one now. It looks like they're all rotated up. And 2 of them are in. So let's find here. So you can see these are in and these are in. And that's the only 2 that are in. Although this is rotated up, this belongs where the red is. So what I'm going to do is keeping this to the right and back. Now, by the way, if I didn't see any that are in, I would have to position it to where I get 2 in. So I'm going to go same algorithm that you just saw, 2U. Now, here's the key. When I do my R and my L, they can't be bandaged. So these are not bandaged. So that's good. I couldn't do it here because that's bandaged. So you've got to go to a place where it's not bandaged. And that's very important. Let's say these 2 are in, but I can't do it from here. I have to move it to a side where both R's and L's are not bandaged. So it's not every side. Here it's bandaged, so I can't do it. R and L has to be bandaged. I just happen to get lucky where these 2 are in, and it's at the right side, front and back, where there is no bandaging. So it's 2U R, 2U Li, 2U Ri, 2UI L. Okay, so that will keep these here. Is this in the right place? Well, here's pink, beige, and gray, and it is. So if this is in the right place and these 2, all the rest must be in the right place. So now what I'm going to do is I got to do RIDI, RD. Again, they can't be bandaged. So if I start off with this one, rotate it up until this pink one is up. So this R does not work, so I can't use that. How about here? This does, and this does not. So I can't use that. This does, and this does. So I can use this, which means I got to do every corner and do it here, here, and here. Keep rolling it in. As long as it's not bandaged here, no matter what I roll it in, no matter how I roll it, as long as I keep this in front of me, regardless of what face is in front of me, it'll work okay. So RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. Okay, you see the pink one here is up, it's facing you. Move to the next one. Same thing. RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. Once again, the pink one is up. So we're going to do our last one. Hold this in position until this pink one is up. So RIDI, RD, RIDI, RD. You can see all the pink ones are now up. So we just have to roll these in to their proper place. So red, 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 blue, blue, blue. All these are at the right place. So our Kilominx is done. Now comes the pyraminx crystal. Once we're done with the pyraminx crystal, then we have to solve the outer layer, and we still have to bear in mind the bandaging because the inner layer won't be affected if we do the outer layer solve.